Hey, so welcome to the coding basics video in the bootcamp. I'm super excited to have you here. I hope you're super excited as well. So I'm gonna fly through some of these things, so don't mind me. As I mentioned, use this as a fundamentals bootcamp and then kind of build off of it. So anything I talk about, go research more about, because you're gonna get more opinions, you're gonna get different opinions, you're gonna get different ways to look at things, right? So I want to show you some of the basic things that you'll need to get started. But first off, you'll need to download Visual Studio Code. This is what I'm using right now in order to write my code, like print, write, code. This is my code editor that I'm going to use throughout the bootcamp. And if you want to have the exact same code editor, this is what I'm using. You'll have to kind of, if you don't already have this, just Google it. Pretty simple to do. I'm using Python 3.8.5 and I'm using an Anaconda environment. So this is another important thing for you to do is download and set up Anaconda and a virtual environment. I'll try to leave a link below, and I'll write a note for that link below that will show you how to set up Anaconda if you don't already have it. But essentially Anaconda allows you to kind of put your environments, and when I say environments, it's like I have different setups, right? Like I have my algorithmic trading setup, which is called Quant, and all of the things that I want to code are in that environment, right? So Anaconda will help you do that. Make sure to download that after you go ahead and after you install Visual Studio Code. You'll need to go ahead and install Python in the extensions. So actually, it may come with Python, but here's some other good extensions that I like to use if you want to just take a quick look at it. I like the color highlight, I like the auto docstring, I like the error lens. And these can be found here in the extensions tab. And then I like path and telesense. And then, yeah, you might have to install Python as well. So you just simply search Python and then you can get to it from there. What else do we want to go over here in this video? Oh, what do you do when you get stuck? Well, when you get stuck, all you need to do is type in, like, for example, how do I print in Python? And then I like to type in Stack Overflow. And this is going to give me Stack Overflow. And I don't know where you are in your coding journey, but what I like to do, and this is kind of the rule I have, and you've probably seen this in other videos, is you type in the actual question, you add Stack Overflow, and then what I like to do is I like to open like 3 to 5 of these, and I'll read through all of this. First you read the question, and I don't know about you, but when I was getting started, this was kind of like intimidating. The way coders write is a little intimidating, but just read it. It's English. Just try to read through it, read the question, then read all the answers, and then try to type out the answers, and then go to the next one and do the same thing. What's gonna happen here is if you use my 3 rule, where I open up at least 3 new tabs answering the question, a lot of the questions aren't gonna be the exact question you're asking, but you'll figure out the answer by looking at what people are asking. You'll get the exact answer, but on top of that, you're gonna learn so many new things that you didn't even expect to learn. So that's why I use my rule of 3, and I just read all the questions and then all the answers. I do the same thing with YouTube videos. There's a lot of good YouTube resources out there, of course, that will teach you everything you need to know about basic Python. And if you're not very well versed with basic Python, I would go take a 3-4 hour course that's free on YouTube on how to do Python, how to install Visual Studio Code, how to set up an Anaconda and virtual environment. These 2 things are super important. How to import packages. So once you pip install, you'll need to learn that as well. If you don't already know how to pip install, just Google how to pip install, because once you pip install, you want to be able to import these packages. And these are some of the important packages we'll be using. CCXT is what helps me connect to all my exchanges. import pandas as PD. So this is actually bringing in the pandas package, and then as PD means we can now call that package by saying PD dot, because we said as PD. And for CCXT, we would just say CCXT dot, and then it will allow us to do things. But I could have done as C or something like that, and then CCXT is not going to work anymore to call it. It's just going to be C. And I know I'm flying through this stuff because I want to get to the algo trading stuff ASAP. If you're not super well versed with Python, that my best recommendation for you is to, number one, read the book I put below. It'll be about Python. I'll make sure that book is below. Number two, go take a 3-4 hour free YouTube course on Python. Learn how to do loops. Let's see, loops, functions, while loops, variables. Super simple stuff that you can learn on YouTube for free that I don't think is right to teach in this course because, like I said, I want to make sure to give you the foundations of algo trading specifically. The way I learned to code was I took the hardest course I could possibly take, which was a machine learning course, and I paid a bunch of money for it, and it all didn't make sense to me, but I just kept watching, and eventually it made sense. So there are a few things I want to go over here in this video. Let's see here. I want to go over these packages that I highly recommend that you study. So spend an hour a day, and each hour take a different package, and take this package and then do this. Go back to Google and say, like if pandas the package, pandas documentation, type it in here and just open up the documentation and start reading through it. You can go to the user guide and just start reading through it. First, they always have like a 10 minutes to pandas. Write out all this code and learn this. Spend an hour a day. Remember, this is just an iterative process of learning how to code. It might be intimidating looking, but just type it all out and you will learn it over time. Don't worry, in this bootcamp, I'm gonna just get straight to the point and show you how to do it. So if you wanna do this later, that is fine. But eventually you'll need to learn all of this stuff, and you'll just read through it. It's just reading in plain English. This stuff is in code, but you're gonna get used to how this looks if you're brand new. But if you're not brand new, still I highly recommend getting really used to pandas. And then I'm gonna write some more packages here that you're gonna need to be really good at over time. To get through this bootcamp, you don't need to do all this first. But this is just something to note that, like, hey, put it on your schedule, an hour a day or 2 hours a day of learning this stuff. Import NumPy as NP. This would help us do a lot of math. This one's pandas is probably one of the most important. CCXT is super important as well. This is how I'm gonna connect to all of my crypto exchanges. And I've had questions like, can you do this stuff with stocks? Yes, all these fundamentals I'm teaching you, they're gonna work for stocks as well. I'm not gonna go over like how to connect to the exchanges for stocks and whatnot. I'll show you everything here with crypto and CCXT, but you can use all the code, you just have to adapt it. So let's see what else we wanna go over here. So you definitely want pandas, you want CCXT, you want date time, so learn about date time. You want to import TA. TA is a really good library I actually don't have on this computer, but I'll just show you how to pip install it. If you ever don't have one of these packages, you simply say, for example, TA pip install, and then it should usually bring you to pypy.org. And you can see this is a technical analysis library. So if you copy that and then you go down here to your terminal, you can just pip install it. And then it downloads it. A pip install is pretty much just downloading. Now it's successfully installed. It won't show green until I restart, but it will work. So that's a package that we'll be using a lot. And then another super important package is Backtrader. So go learn Backtrader. I don't have it installed in this computer, but I'll get it installed because we're gonna go over Backtrader a lot in this training, because this is how you actually backtest. So I actually don't have a lot of these packages installed because I use a different setup on my computer, or a different virtual environment for my videos. So yeah, we'll get all that installed, and definitely get those things installed, learn those packages, and let's see what else we want to go over here in this kind of intro video. Important things to know in code: variables, loops, functions, and these are just basic Python things. We're going to be using Python throughout the whole training, Python, and it's going to be Python 3. I've had some questions like, hey, should I learn Python 1 and 2 before 3? And no, it's not like that. I actually thought the same thing. It's like Python 3 is just like, you know how we're on like iPhone 15 right now. It's just the newest. That's the one you use. You wouldn't go buy an iPhone 1. Everybody uses Python 3, and it's there's a couple differences, but it's yeah, you'll need to know Python 3 in order to really excel. But at the end of the day, you know, if you ever get stuck on anything, just Google it. Do my 3 rule, where I read at least 3 articles or watch at least 3 videos, and then you'll learn so much more than you asked for, and just never stop. And I personally spend all day doing this stuff. When I was getting started though, I made a commitment to spend 4 hours per day on learning. So 4 hours per day. If you want to kind of match what I did, for the first 2 years, I did 4 hours per day, and I just learned. And that's why I have so much knowledge now. But the good thing for you is, in this boot camp, I'm gonna be condensing all of that into the things that are necessary, right? So you don't have to go learn everything. So you'll probably be able to do it in less time. But if you still spent 4 hours a day and you just focused on what I teach you in this boot camp and those topics, and then kind of build off of them, oh my God, I'm like envious of you, because I would have done anything. It's just this industry is so secretive that nobody wants to like consolidate all the information into a boot camp like this, because it is like, I get it, like you find winning strategies and you don't want to share them, or you don't want to share how you generate your strategies, because then somebody can reverse engineer it. And I totally understand it, but you know, I make these videos and this training because I learned everything on the internet growing up, and nobody is teaching this stuff. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure that you have everything here condensed. I'm going to link a couple things below: the Anaconda setup, which is super important, and also a book on Python in case you need to, you know, brush up on Python. And maybe I'll even try to link some YouTube videos if you need to learn Python. Let's see what else we want to go over here in this video. I think this is a pretty good start, and from here we're going to get into the algo trading basics, and then we're going to start showing some functions and building some code, which is super exciting. So I just want you to remember, like throughout this training, like I'm teaching you the fundamentals. Like I got to give you this warning one more time. These are the fundamentals. I'm teaching you the Lego blocks, how to build the Lego blocks, and then you can use those blocks in order to build your own stuff. You want to be able to build your own things, because that's where the real alpha comes. I can't just sit here and be like, hey, here, run this algo and you're going to make $1 billion, right? Like that stuff doesn't work, because if we're all running the same algos, it's going to go to zero. You have to find your own edge. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more here later. I'm just checking my notes here to make sure that I caught everything. Yeah, you're going to do great at this. Study these packages, get Python going, get Visual Studio Code, learn about loops function, while loops, variables. I mentioned those here. Try to put 4 hours a day in. If you do that, you're going to be unstoppable. That's for sure. And then I'm gonna post some resources below that you can learn. But the key here is if you master these packages, you're gonna learn so much, because there's so much. There's so much in these documentations that, like, for example, you could go into the TA lib documentation and learn so much about every single indicator and everything you need to know. The pandas, the NumPy, the CCXT. So all of these on the screen are super, super important to make sure to really focus on. So we'll wrap up here, and I will see you in the next video. Actually, before we do that, I need to remind you about this here. This right here. Let's watch this one time, because this is everything within algo trading. This is everything.
To be the best basketball player you can be.
Mm-hmm. If you want to be the best algo trader ever,
practice, you have to train. Right? You want to train as much as you can.
4 hours a day, at least.
So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12. Train at 12. Train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out. You train. Start training at 6. Train from 6 to 8. Right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up and do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions.
Two sessions. I need more than that.
Train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, go so blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? Relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4.
Just go harder than everybody else, and you will win this game. So I'll leave you with that. Let's go ahead and look at this Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The more shots you take, the more strategies you test throughout this, the faster you're going to learn, the faster you'll find your edge. And yeah, just keep swimming. I can't wait to see you in the next video, and I'll see you there.